Okay, well, I got my dartboard up and I decided I wanted to build a holder for all my sets of darts. And so I kind of got online today and I was looking around trying to get some ideas. And the one that caught my attention the most was this little warrior guy, and he's holding a shield, and the darts are kind of stuck in the shield, simulating like he's being shot at with arrows, and he's ready to toss a spear back, which is another dart. And so I went with that idea, and this was just to give you a quick look. This is how it turned out here. So you can see his little shield there holding the darts. He's tossing one back, and then I also improvised and added these back here because I had enough sets of darts. These are just supposed to kind of simulate some that would have missed him because he's holding his shield. And so it was a fun little project. It took me about an hour and a half. The longest part was cutting out the little figure, but after that everything went really quickly. And so if you want to see how I put this together, just watch the rest of this video. I got some clips here. Jumps along pretty quickly, so take a look. I think you'll enjoy this video. It was a fun project. Okay, so I started by just kind of drawing it out on paper, and then I cut that out and used that as kind of a template to sketch it onto the piece of wood that I was going to use. I just used some cheap pine. It's like a 1x8, I think, is what I used here. After I cut it out, I just kind of traced it on, as you can see here. Okay, so after I traced it out, I did lay the darts there just to make sure the scale was right. Everything looked good. So I started to cut it out with my jigsaw. I did take my time with this because I wanted to maintain some of the detail and everything. And I was afraid the limbs were going to break off the plank because they're kind of thin. So it did take me a little bit of time here. After I got everything cut out, I did end up cutting the arm off, you know, at the angle for the dart that he's going to hold, and everything looks good so far. So for the shield, I just used a hole saw. I drilled out a slab of wood out with the hole saw. And it's a 5-inch piece. The hole through the center worked good for putting the screw, and then I lined up and I cut off the arm at the right angle to hold the shield. Now the next part, I have to cut the groove to hold the dart that he is holding in his arm that he's ready to toss back. So I just kind of made a notch with my jigsaw and then wood chiseled out the rest until it fit. And I also did use the wood chisel to kind of clean up some of the sharp corners in the detail. I sanded everything down. I just kind of rounded over the edges a little bit just so it wasn't a hard edge. And after I got done with the power sander, I did kind of clamp it down and used a little bit of hand sanding in the grooves. For the base, I just used a flat piece of wood here, nothing special. Sanded it down, rounded out the corners, kind of figured out where my figure was going to go on there, and I screwed him and the shield down using a little bit of wood glue. Here I'm just going to put the darts in just to give it a quick look, see how everything's going so far. And then I proceeded to drill the holes in the base. I just kind of winged it. I didn't want everything perfectly level. You know, these are supposed to be little darts or spears thrown at him. So, of course, they're not all going to come at the same trajectory. For stain, I decided to go with, I used 2 color stains on this. I used American Walnut first, applied that, wiped it all off, all the excess, and then I put Jacobian over the top of that. I like that color mix. It's something that I've done with the trim in my basement, so it kind of makes everything match up really well. And here you go. You can kind of get a final look at it here. I'm going to put all the darts in it, and we'll see how it looks here sitting on the bar. So here it is.